I got tagged again. This time I got tagged by Hatwearinggamer. And this one is a guilty pleasure tag video where you you ask questions about some of your guilty pleasures and things you may be a little ashamed of stuff that you've done in your life. So, alright, so without further ado, let's get started because there's plenty of questions. So, my first question is, what is a guilty pleasure of mine? Now I have one thing to say, and here is my guilty pleasure. The cartoon heroes, whoa, we are the ones who's gonna last forever. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Aqua. People might not believe that, because I'm like more of a heavy metal fan, like I love heavy metal, rock music, all kind of stuff, but I freaking love Aqua. Don't ask me why. I can't explain it, but I freaking love Aqua. Aqua just, they make me so happy. I don't really like to admit that to a whole lot of people, but I freaking love Aqua. Freaking love them. So, yeah, that is a definite guilty pleasure of mine. Aqua. Loving that band. I can't get enough of them. And I was so happy when they came out with a new album last year. So, or 2011, whatever. The past couple years they came out with a new album, so. Alright. What is something I did long ago that I am still ashamed of? Something long ago that I'm still ashamed of. Well, I was saying I was going out with this girl because me and her started hanging out a little bit, even though I wasn't. And it spread around and it went back to her, and of course she got really pissed off at me, and I sincerely apologized, and we were cool after that. But for a while there, man, I was ashamed of it. I'm still kind of ashamed of that, but it is what it is. So, what is one bad habit I have? I smoke. I smoke cigarettes. This is something I generally smoke when I don't have any cigarettes, so it's an e-cig. But it's been a habit I've been trying to break for years, because I've been smoking for 12 years, and it's something I really need to stop, so. Yeah, I smoke. That's a really bad habit I have, so. Alright. One lie that I've told, big or small. I tell people that I don't know. This pen is blue. It's not blue. It's black. There you go. I know I've told some stuff, but I can't remember I can't think of them on top of my head. But yeah, this pen is blue. Silliest thing I've ever got upset over. Getting pissed off at video games. Me losing that Mario Kart. Me losing that Mario Party. Me and my best friend getting pissed off on a wrestling game. My Let's Plays. Getting pissed off on Let's Plays. Yeah, I'll go with that. Something I'm really bad at. I'm musically inclined. I'm very good at music. I'm very good at math, that kind of stuff, but I cannot draw my way out of a paper bag. I can't draw a decent stick figure. Yeah, so drawing is definitely a weak point of mine. I can't even draw my way out of a paper bag, so, yeah. Oops. But, yeah, I can't draw. Drawing is definitely, if somebody pulled a gun against my head and told me to draw something, I would be killed because I can't draw. somebody told me to put a gun in and told me to play something on a piano or something like that, I could do that all day, but drawing's definitely not my forte, so. Something I preach, but never do. Diet. I always say that people need to diet and all kind of stuff and eat healthy and all kind of stuff, and I don't eat healthy, man. Just a few minutes ago, I was eating cookies. I always eat frozen food. I eat burritos and little taquitos and sausage and eggs. I don't eat very healthy. Even though I tell people to eat healthy because, I mean, all kind of stuff, I'm not the healthiest eater in the world. So, yeah, that's something I definitely tell people, like, preach and all kind of stuff. Everybody's like, I want to do all kind of stuff. Well, eat healthy, and I don't do the same thing, so. Have I ever stolen before? If so, what? When I was a teenager, I used to I had a huge crush on Mandy Moore. I had a huge crush on Mandy Moore to the point where I go to the magazine section, like in Walmart or something like that, and rip out like Mandy Moore pictures out of like the magazines. I'm not sure if that's considered stealing, but I like rip out the pictures out of magazines of Mandy Moore so I can just hang it up in my room. You walk into my room, there's nothing but like Mandy Moore stuff everywhere because I freaking loved that girl. I know I shouldn't have done that, but I don't know. I was obsessed with that girl when I was a teenager. So yeah, I don't know if I consider stealing, but no, it's probably the closest thing I've ever stolen. So one act I've done out of revenge? I'm not a very vengeful person per se, but me and my niece, who we grew up together, she's more like my sister because we actually grew up together. We always were a little rough with each other. And stuff like that. I mean, she did something to me. I always try to do something back at her. We always try to do revenge. We loved each other because we were more like brother and sister than niece and uncle. But because like I said, she basically lived with us up to about her 7th grade year in school. But yeah, that was definitely something. I'm not a vengeful person, but we always, try to one-up each other when it comes up to a little bit of stuff like that. And I'll explain that to you because there's a couple more questions. So, someone I used to envy. No, I never was an envious person. I was always happy. I mean, I had girlfriends in school. I had a long-lasting girlfriend when I was in high school. We started dating when we were like 15, and we were engaged when I was 18. So I had the girlfriend. I had the friends. All kinds of stuff. I never was really envious about anybody. So, I mean, we got engaged at 18, and something happened, which I'm not going to mention, but we're not together anymore. So there's a story behind that, but I'm not going to get into that. That's something for completely different. If you want to know, just message me, and I'll explain it, whatever. But, yeah, I never really envied anybody. So I had the girlfriend, I had the friends, I had a pretty decent life when I was in school. So, I mean, envied and all kinds of stuff. I never really envied anybody growing up. So, and the last question is a mischievous thing I did in my childhood. Now, like I said, me and my niece grew up. We were like mother and sister, all kinds of stuff. I remember one specific example. We had the swing set in the backyard, and I was swinging on the swing set and all kinds of stuff. And I went to slide down the slide, and Kristen, my niece, was over there scooping up something like a bucket. And I was deciding on the side, and she ran over there, and she threw it all over me, and she wound up pouring and throwing a lot of fire ants at me. I mean, she covered me with fire ants, and she got a big whooping on that. And then a few days later, we were at church for a church group and all kinds of stuff. We were out there playing two-touch football, and Kristen had the ball, and I didn't touch her. I literally tackled to the ground and hit her a little bit until she started crying. So, we were both really mischievous, all kind of stuff. I pushed her off the roof because she asked me to push her off the roof because she thought she had an umbrella in her hand. She thought she was Mary Poppins, and she fell and hit the ground like that close from hitting a stump. And our back deck was being built, and she was playing hide and go seek, and she was up there on the boards that were being built that was cut across the deck. And I climbed the ladder, and right when I got on the ladder, she moved the board, and I fell, and I hit the concrete really, really hard. So we were always really mischievous with each other. But that was just one example of some of the things we did when we were growing up. All right, it's time for me to tag people. I got 5 people in mind. Some of these people you may have heard of before, some people you may not, but all of them are subscribed to me. So I'm going to tag y'all. Y'all make sure y'all do this. Y'all because if y'all get tagged, you must do it. Anyway, Habby5150, you've been tagged. Nick, Ultra Nintendo 64, you've been tagged. Bakester42, you've been tagged. Eccentric Gamer, Joel, you've been tagged. And Games1219, Danielle, you've been tagged. I'll leave who I tagged in the description. I'll post the questions, all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And whoever got tagged, do it. Thank you, Scott, for letting me do this, for tagging me. And y'all have a good day.